Okay, hey everyone, this is WildBlade from Creative Media Vault in Tokyo, Japan, and I am back this week. So let's see, I'm just gonna kind of go through a few things today. Hold on, I'm pulling out my earphone here. Yes, I hope everybody's doing well. As you know, I'm pretty sure that everybody's been a little bit preoccupied with kind of what's going on globally with Russia and the Ukraine thing. So I hope that that all that gets resolved soon, much sooner than later, hopefully. This is something that never should happen in the first place. But I don't really like to talk politics and stuff so much on this channel. So, let's see. Any other big news? We did have a big earthquake in Japan, yesterday, as most of you've probably heard on the news. But it wasn't. I think we're gonna have aftershocks and stuff like that. But there wasn't such a huge human impact this time. So it appeared that things are a little bit calmed down for now. Japan had a lot of earthquakes, so that's nothing really new. So we can just kind of hope that this is just kind of a one-off and it'll leave us alone for the rest of the year. But that's just how it is when you live in Japan. So, but everything, there wasn't so much damage, so everything appeared to be fine at the moment. So what I'm going to be doing today is, we're going to be continuing with this Spirits of the Lost Wind build. And actually, I have gone ahead and released the beta version of this game template. So you can actually go online and download this game template from my website now, which is what you were just looking at. I'm on the wrong page here. These are characters for my main game, CDULO, The Outer Rim, and I also have like some fan art that somebody contributed, a guy named Daniel, so check him out on Instagram. Pretty cool work. So after this week, I will be returning back to development on this game. So because that is my main game, and I just wanted to do a quick, kind of like a 2D game template in order to, well, make money, because things have been a little bit slow with my online business lately. So I've kind of had to like shift gears into more digital media and digital products. You know, you can check all of this out later. But if you're interested in downloading the game template for this, you can go to my website, creativemv.com, and if you go to the home page, you can go here and hold on. Let me make sure that this is working. Yeah, so if you go to Spirits of the Lost Wind, you'll notice it says the cute spin-off adventure game template for WildFIRE Legend of the Ryukage. So if you click here, in order to download this 2D game template is free at the moment, and I'll keep it free until the end of this month, probably, just for people to download it, test it, and then I'm gonna start, charging money for it because, well, I need cash. So, sorry. So, you can go to my website and you can click on Spirits of the Lost Wind, and this is the link for you to download this 2D template. So when you click on this link, you'll be taken to a sign up list for my sign up for my mailing list, which will give you updates on my latest game launches in my Nerdy Urges online store. And if you go down here, then you can go ahead and sign up, and you can once you subscribe, then it'll take you to a link where you can actually download this kit. And I will make this free and available until March 31st, 2022. So what the kit actually looks like at the moment is, we'll jump over to Unity here. So so this kit is already ready to go. I am going to be adding a few extra features to it, like a few things, maybe a little bit more functionality to it, or a few new weapons and stuff like that. But basically the kit is already done, and I'll turn the volume down on this. So what I was the main goal of this kit was actually to design something that is going to be a code-free kind of solution for people who just don't like programming like me. So this is kind of what it looked like, and you'll have like two different options. So you can actually start with the actual sample of the game. So I'll just click on that, and this is like the sample, what the sample actually looks like when it's running. So you have your player, and you can kind of run around. You can pick up stuff, and you can do everything that you would do in the real game. And I'll show you how to get rid of this later, so don't worry, you'll be able to kill that. So you can kind of run around this, and you can like cut off those little trackers if you want to. But like I'll show you how to get rid of those, or we might actually do that here. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I just stopped this. So that is how the that's how the sample game will look. So, like I said, you can play the sample, and I have set up other scenes that I haven't like really filled in yet because this is designed to be a template for anybody to use. So hopefully you won't have to do any coding. You can just go in here, throw your graphics in here, switch the buttons around, and boom, there's your game, right? That's what it's designed for. So we can go back to the main menu. You've got a credit scene, which is basically the same as the story. And after you've played around with the sample, just to kind of get an idea of how the game works, then you can also actually play the demo, the Spirits of the Lost Wind demo, which has the cutscene that we put in here before. And this is just like a cutscene of this a random cutscene that I put in here, so you're definitely going to want to replace this because it's all just marketing and promotion for my game. Sorry, but yeah, so you'll have to replace all of that. And then like if you don't want to see all of that, you can just kind of skip. And this is the actual demo that we've been working on on Twitch that I've been live streaming for the past like month or so, and it has all the basic functionality of stuff that you can do. So it's got the it has the dialogue system, and that you can kind of go through a player, just hit escape for. It's got the coins, it's got the weapons, it's got everything, it's got the enemies, so basically everything that you'll actually need in the game, or everything that you can actually do in the kit is is on display in this demo, right? So let me go ahead and kill this guy, kill this guy. I haven't done any major graphics updates because I didn't want to put a lot of my original graphics in here because I will be using them for my own game, and I will be using them on my online store. So anyway, like you guys have seen this. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to be kind of explaining in simple terms how to use this kit, right? So I'll go ahead and stop this here. And as I mentioned, if you want to download this kit until the end of the month for free, you can just go to my website, sign up to my mailing list, and it'll give you a link to download what we already have here. And you can also go to my itch.io page for this game as well. And this itch.io page does include a link to download the free Unity 2D template until March 31st, 2022. So after March 31st, I am going to start charging money for this because, like I said, I got kids, man. I need cash. So, and I've already kind of done all the programming for this. So, what the itch.io page will eventually evolve into is I'm going to actually put my version of the game here for download and for play. But I am going to try to keep the template up for people who want to just kind of download it and quickly make a game. So you can either get it here or you can get it on my website. All right, so those are the links. And as I was going through this, I realized that I did realize that this game is actually a spin-off or a sequel to like some of my previous games. So the Spirits of the Lost Wind game is actually connected to this game right here, my WildFIRE Blitz game that I made for iOS, years ago. It's an archive game. And it's also, connected to this this app and this app, and where's the it's actually a sequel to this game, a game that I made in RPG Maker like way back in like 2003 or 2004 or something like that. So all of my games tend to be connected to the same original storyline. Yeah, so I'm like, I should probably tell them about that, right? So, a lot of the characters that you will find in the game that I'm making will be connected to that storyline. So if you're interested in downloading the game kit and interested in making your own game and you don't like coding, this is probably one of the game kits that you're going to want to get. And like I said, right now it is free until the end of the month. So what we're going to do now, they're just going to kind of jump in to see, and I'll start showing you how to actually use this kit, right? So I am still going to be doing like detailed tutorials and putting them up on my Patreon page, which you can also find. Where's my Patreon? Which you can also find like right here. So this is me like and I'll be putting more detailed tutorials like for coding and how I did all of this stuff later. But you know, for those of people who don't want to code or don't want to get into all of that shit, you can just kind of download this kit. And I've designed it to be really simple in terms of coding. So so basically it's kind of like more of a Boolean based game. So I'll show you how that works right now. So we're going to jump out of the main window because this is pretty simple to set up. So if you want to go in and you want to change the main menu, you can just go here and everything is kind of under canvas, and you can really just go in here and change these graphics, switch them on and off, do whatever you want to. So this is going to be one of the easiest things to do. And so I'm not really going to spend so much time on that because I've already done a Twitch stream on how to set up the menu. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the sample scene. So when you first download this kit, you're probably going to want to take a look at the sample scene. And so I'll open that up here. And that's the scene that we were just looking at before when I was kind of playing through the game. And hold on, I've got a mail. Give me a second. Yeah. All right, yeah. So, sorry about that. Yeah, it's not important. I'll answer it tomorrow. All right, so when you open up this game kit, probably the first thing you're going to want to do is go to the sample scene here, and you're probably going to want to get rid of this of this message. So this is just a note. I did program this in like Unity 2019.4. Now, this does work in 2020, but this particular scene or this particular build does use a package which sometimes doesn't really work so well with like Unity 2020 and above. And that is this one. It is, what is it? Package Manager. It's called Text Mesh Pro. Yeah, this one right here. So I did notice like this Text Mesh Pro is a very good package to use, but I noticed it is pretty compatible with like Unity 2018, 2019, but it does have problems with 2020 and above sometimes. So if you open up this game kit and you're like trying to play and you start getting errors about Text Mesh Pro, then you might actually have to remove this package. And it's not really going to have so much of an impact on your game unless you're doing a lot of like really like advanced techniques with like text, like want to put like glow and border and like stuff like that. But if you are having problems with it in 2020 and above, go ahead and remove Text Message Pro, and a lot of times that'll solve the issue. So that's basically what this message is, right? So you can read that for yourself. And after if you're successfully able to open this and you don't have any problems, you can just go into your UI template, UI temp folder, and you can go to like this version text BKG and just click this off, right? Yeah, just turn that off, and that'll get rid of the message. Yeah. All right, so that's the first thing that you're going to want to do. So, like, go to sample scene. Probably, if you're not having any problems, go ahead and turn this version text BKG off under your UI temp, and then you can kind of start playing around with the actual elements of this level. All right. So, now what we're going to take a look at is, I guess we'll take a look at some of the basic building blocks. So if you'll notice in this hierarchy, I have kind of, taken the time to arrange everything to make it easier to find. So I'm going to click on the player temp and I'm going to go here, and this will be your player, just kind of center that up. All right, so let's go through the hierarchy very quickly. So we have our main camera, and our main camera, you don't really have to do anything with this. So you can just open it up and see what we've got in here. So we do have a mini map camera, which is down here. That's kind of attached to it. And we have a virtual camera, courtesy of the cinema machine. which is another package that comes that I've kind of already put in here. And you're probably gonna want to keep that because it allows you to easily track the player and follow, and has a lot of cool shit that you can do with cameras. Right. So in the camera, you're probably not gonna really mess with so much. There aren't any like scripts or anything really attached to it, so you can kind of leave the camera alone. After that, this is like a cursor click temp that I just have in here, so you're not gonna need to do too much with that unless you want to have a it's just kind of like a prefab for that little blue click thing. So I'm gonna turn this off so we can kind of play around with it. Yeah, so don't mess with the camera. Cursor click temp, you can actually like take that out of the hierarchy if you want to. All it is just this little blue thing that keeps on popping up. Which actually I'll probably change the animation on that. So let's go ahead and change the animation on this very quickly. So I'm gonna go to this prefab, and and I'll export this out for you guys later. I think the animator isn't turned on this, that's why. Cause I was kind of playing around with how I want that to look. Yes, I do already have a fade in, fade out animation on this somewhere. Okay, yeah, like let me go down here and open my prefab here. So, right, and I've got this click, small click. So you don't necessarily need this. I just kind of put it in there as the extra thing anyway. Okay, yeah, that's working fine. I don't know if it's not working in scene, but yeah, it's not really necessary to be honest. Um, so what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna like kind of leave it right there. But anyway, I'll get back to that. So if you want the click, you can kind of, I'll show you where this click is actually being, displayed anyway. So let's see, let's go ahead and go down to default building blocks. So the default building blocks, you'll notice that they're kind of turned off in the scene. So I will turn these on. Now, these default building blocks are, basically just prefabs that I've kind of set up to because we want to kind of keep the memory of this game kind of low. So I'm going to go here, and I'm just gonna like I had them, I was using them one by one, so they're kind of stacked on top of each other. But this is what your basic building blocks kind of look like. It's a circle, a square, a triangle, default circle, and where's my square at? No, default square isn't showing up for some reason. Let me find this guy. Oh, there he is. Yeah. So these are the basic building blocks that I use to kind of lay out this level, actually, so, and they're all prefabs, so you can kind of, just you keep on reusing these over and over in the scene, and they're already in the prefabs folder, so you don't have to worry about that, and I'll save this like this. But, while you're laying out your level, you can just use these basic building blocks to do whatever you need to, like, set up another layer down here, or set up another level down here if you want to. Just kind of rotate stuff around. Oh, sorry, not that one. Yeah, so you can do all of this, like, just to quickly lay out another level if you want to. And then, like, I can just kind of grab these three, and kind of change the color. And boom, we have another area. And you'll notice that these already kind of have, these default building blocks do not have rigid bodies, and they don't have like light box colliders or anything, so you can add those if you need them. So yeah, that's kind of how I do my level design. But I'll go ahead and get rid of these three because we don't need them. And then like I'll go ahead and hide these. So just remember, like, if you're looking to build up a level very quickly, you've already got your standard building blocks right here. All right, and so we can close that. And now the next thing that we have is the player temp. So let's see, I guess probably one of the easiest ways to actually show you how to use the kit is actually like kind of build a new level. So the easiest way to build a level is actually really just to copy this one. So let's go down to our scenes. So what I can do is I can just like click on this sample level. If I'm really lazy, I can just click on this sample level and I can like do a Control D, and that'll copy this level, and then that'll copy it to a new level. And then I can just kind of get rid of the stuff that I don't want. But just for the sake of argument, we're not going to do that with this one. We're going to go ahead and start another scene. So I'll go here, and I will go to like, can I create a new scene here? Yeah. So I'll create a new scene here, and I'll just like name it maybe sample 2, right? And let me see that. All right. So what I do recommend though is like in order to save yourself time, like with like trying to set up everything, would you, instead of like trying to recreate all of these, like create the player and all of these things from scratch. I mean, you can if you want to, but in order to save yourself time, I would actually just recommend like copying it. So I would say go to player.temp and then hit Control C, and then you can go to your sample 2 over here and just like paste it in here. Yeah, and this will like copy the player with all of the all of the necessary scripts and stuff. So let's take a look at the player script right now. You can actually the first thing that you should do when you're copying a scene, actually though, instead of just copying the player over, I do recommend, if you want to use the camera and you want the camera to kind of move the same way, I actually recommend copying the player and the camera. So I'm going to go ahead and save this under scene 2. Then I'll go back to my sample scene, and I'm going to go to my main camera. And for the main camera, I think, it's kind of, since we didn't copy the scene exactly, I can go ahead and just copy this one. Because the cameras for each scene might be a little bit different, so I might just want to go ahead and copy this camera as well. So I can go into my sample 2, and instead of like, I'll put this one as main camera, like old for now, and then I'll paste this one as my main camera, and I'll go ahead and drag this up here. So I recommend like just copying the camera and copying the I'll go ahead and get rid of this. Yeah, or I'll go ahead and turn this one off, I would say. Yeah. Right. So this will be my main camera. Yeah. So this will be my main camera right now. And it's got the cinema machine and everything like that. So the cinema machine and everything. So when I hit play, and like I said, it's probably better just to be honest, it's probably better just to go ahead and copy the scene. But I'm just kind of, since I'm going to be giving you a breakdown of how all of the elements kind of work, I'm just creating this new scene. So I've got, this thing right here. Yay, 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 yay. So I've got all of these clones that I'm going to get rid of. All right. So anyway, we've got the camera. We've got our mini map camera here. Okay. Wait a minute. Why is this not coming up as my main camera? Old static. Okay, hold on. What I'm going to do in this case then is I'm just going to take these and I'm just going to drag them up here instead. Hold on. Yeah, before I just kind of copied the level. Now I'm kind of doing something different. So, and this one doesn't have Cinema Machine on it. Display 1, target type, controller, main camera. Okay, yeah, that should be working, but Okay, well, like, let's go with the player right now. Like I said, it's probably easier just to copy the level, but I'm just trying to, playing around trying to save like some time. So I'll go ahead and hide this one, and I'll cut this guy back on right here. Um, and that way we'll kind of be able to see everything quickly. And yeah, okay. So anyway, let's go with the let's take a look at the player right now. I'll go ahead and turn this off at the moment and rename it back to what it was. So yeah, let's take a look at the player, and we've got our player temp, and our player temp actually has a script. So like I said, if you'll notice, when we copy the player temp over, the player is already kind of set up to move around the screen. So that's because it has all of the necessary scripts already attached to it. So he can move everywhere he needs to, you know, and that's because these scripts are attached to it. So let's take a look at the scripts that we have on the actual player temp. So we have a click to move script, and this click effect, that's kind of what is kind of being left behind here. So when we were clicking, you notice that little blue thing that keeps on popping up. Well, that is the that is the click effect. So, if we want a click effect, we can kind of leave it in there. But if we don't want the click effect, then, we can just click here. And I do have a null object that I use. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this null object in here. And this null object is kind of like, just kind of like a blank object that I use when I need to fill in the space, without having to like recode anything. So if I want something to kind of like be null and not really show up or not really have an effect, but I need to fill in the space in the inspector for something, I just drop the null in there. So now when I, press something, then you'll notice that that click effect is no longer there. And we'll kind of leave it off for this one, I think. All right, so this is the basic click to move script. Now I'll give you a look at, let you see how that looks in the code. But remember, I'm trying to, I made this template to where it should be pretty much hands off for coding, right? Because I don't like coding, and I know a lot of people don't. So, right, so this should be opening up in Visual Studio. Right, and this is the click to move script. So I did show you how I like wrote this in a previous video on Twitch, so you can go and watch that. And I'll be adding links to the devlogs for this on my website. So, but it's a really basic simple script. So we're not really going to go through that, but this is just kind of what it looks like. And I do have like some additional I did add some additional like script in here if you want to like try to add different attacks to the specific script. All right, so yeah, that's kind of what the click to move script looks like. It's really simple, really quick. All right, and then the next script that we have on here is the actual player controller script, and this is the longest script that I have in the game. And I tried to put as much information or as much functionality into this script as possible. So we're not really going to go through all of this script because it's actually pretty freaking long. However, what I do want you to see is I tried to make, when I write my scripts, when I wrote my scripts for this game, I tried to make them as simple as possible. So you'll notice that there are a lot of booleans that are being used. And what a boolean is like basically it's like a on and off switch. So the reason why I use this is because for people who are not really into coding and who don't like complex mathematical computations and like don't really know how like a lot of like functionality and stuff actually works when it comes to coding, then I think like using booleans is actually much easier for them. So a boolean, like I said, is kind of like a switch. It's like true or false or on or off. So when you look at the player script, you'll notice that there are a lot of a lot of little check boxes. So I did that on purpose because if you're downloading this kit and you want to add functionality to something, then really all you have to do is you can find the graphical elements or the hierarchy elements to put into these spaces, and then you can like switch them on and off. So if you want to, for example, if you want to check to see if a player is jumping, you can actually just switch it on here, and that will set the player to automatically jumping. If you don't want him or her jumping at the beginning of the level, you can just switch this off. And if you want the player to, these switches are used to switch things on and off, and they're also used to check status, right? When you're playing a game. So, for example, like if I wanted the player to be able to use like if I want the player to be able to pick up a key card or something like that, then I can just if I want to confirm that a key card is picked up, then I can just set all of these to, okay, well, this key card is already picked up, kind of thing, right? And then so we have booleans, and then we have like game objects that you can just kind of throw in here. And so I'll show you how to use all of those. And like I said, most of those are going to be on the player temp, on the actual player script, right? So that's why this is so long, but this player script is where you're going to find most of your functionality for this particular game template. So once you get used to it, it'll be pretty easy to use. So like, okay, I need a key card, so I'll just grab this key card and toss it in here. I need a dash attack, I'll toss it in here. And if I want the player to use the dash attack, I'll just flip turn the switch on, kind of thing. All right. And that's how I've done most of the scripts in this game. So there shouldn't be any really complex mathematical calculations or a lot of hard coding, hard programming stuff for you to like really mess with. And this is like I said, because it's designed for beginners. But if you're an advanced like programmer and stuff like that, and you like go through the code, and you're like, oh, this is crap. I can upgrade this, and like please feel free to do so. So I wanted to make it as versatile as possible. All right, so back to our player temp. So we've got this, player, and it's got just basically these two scripts. Right? I did add and it's got like a rigid body 2D, and it's got circle collider 2D on the top level. And then the next script we have is the inventory script. This will allow us to kind of collect different weapons and stuff. And then I have this script right here for a dash attack, which I'm not really using right now. I showed you how I set that up before, but I can like enable the script or disable the script if I want the player to have a dash attack. Most of the other attacks are like his range attack, fan shot attack, scatter shot are already included in the player script. So the dash attack was just kind of something experimental that I was setting up before, but it is functional and you can use it. All right, so that's the basic player game object, the top level of the basic player game object. Then you've got your weapons. So, like for example, you have your ranged weapon. So this is already like something that's included in the player that we've already copied over. So you have your container for ranged weapon temp. You actually have your weapon sprite, which is basically kind of this blue blue thing right now. In the sample level, it's a blue, like just a blue default box. And on this weapon sprite, you'll have like a weapon script. And this weapon script will allow you to, just kind of choose a projectile. So you can make any kind of projectile, like any kind of game object. So you've got your prefabs here that you can basically just kind of copy. Like if I want to make a new bullet, I can just click on this one and go to projectile 1 temp, and I can drag this out here. You'll notice that it's a blue circle. Well, maybe I want the player to have a pink circle instead, so I'm just going to go here and click this and then turn it to pink or maybe yellow. And you'll notice that, when I do that, this projectile 1 temp is already up here in the hierarchy. So I'll just change that to projectile, like, I don't know, 2 temp. Do I have a projectile 2 temp? Yeah, I'll change that one to projectile 2 temp. And one of the things that I do want you to realize is once you change something in the hierarchy, basically I want you to be able to drag and drop elements in here. Just quickly change them, like change the color, change the size, change the graphic. And then, like, once you changed it though, I don't want you to use the overrides. Unless you actually want to override everything in the all of the prefabs that are in all of the prefabs that are in the scene. So for this new projectile, I'm actually just going to grab this and drag it into my prefabs folder. Yeah, so I've got like another folder for temporary prefabs. All right, so now we've just kind of created a second shot for this player. So instead of like shooting blue, we want him to shoot yellow. So we'll just go to his ranged weapon, weapon sprite, and we'll click on where it says projectile 1 temp. And instead of using that, we'll just go ahead and put in projectile 2 temp, and that is it. So, now we've got a player who can kind of like run around and just kind of shoot projectiles. Well, maybe not shoot projectiles now because he doesn't. I'm not sure if like this is enabled, but yeah. So you can just kind of, yeah. All right. So there we go. Yeah. So now he has his new bullets. Yay. All right. So, that's how quickly you can actually change weapons. So we have like in this player script, I've included basically 4 types of weapons. So we've got the ranged weapon, we have the melee attack weapon, which is where the player can kind of dash around. This is basically just kind of like a hitbox, and that one is associated with the dash attack that I just showed you. So remember this dash attack script, so this is where the dash attack script actually comes in. It activates this melee attack box and lets the player like kind of ram into characters, ram into enemies, do damage, and also block bullets, right? What else do we have? We have a scattershot weapon, which looks like this. So I'll show you the scattershot. So I can go here, and with the scatter shot, basically, this allows, I set this up to where you can actually do multiple shots at one time, right? So I'll go ahead and demonstrate this. All right, so the player can run around, and then with scatter shot is activated, boom. All right, so we've got basically, a lot of different shot points where the player can, shoot and direct the weapon, direct his fire. All right, or well, not direct the fire, just fires everywhere. All right, so that's the scatter shot weapon. And like I said, you can kind of change the bullets for this one as well. So because it's exact same setup as the ranged weapon, so you just go to the weapon script. You can change the projectile. You can change the graphic, the sprite of the graphic. So you can kind of set it to whatever you want, which I'm not going to do right now, but you get the idea. You can change the time between shots, so how fast can the player shoot. So I'll demonstrate that one right here. So with the time between shots, right now if I click, I can just kind of spam this spam this attack. Um, so if I set this to 5, yeah, still kind of like hold on, nice, this one. Okay, so yeah, this means that I'm not really going to be able to spam it so much for this particular. If you'll notice, like all of the other ones are shooting, I guess like the best way to show you this one though is actually not on the scattershot weapon, because the scattershot weapon has like a couple of different shot points. That's why. So we'll turn the scattershot off right quick, and I'll demonstrate that with the ranged weapon because it's only got one shot point. All right, so let's go back to our to this one. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this projectile 2 temp because we don't need that one. So I'll delete that from the hierarchy. All right, so now when I hit play, all right, so now when I hit play, I can kind of like spam this like projectile anytime I want. So when I go to the weapon sprite, I can change the time between shots to 5, and that means that I can only shoot like once every 5 seconds. It kind of went back to like default though, so. And you can also do that, for the start time between shots. So now start time between shots is like I can only shoot every 5 seconds. So if I want to shoot faster, then like I can like switch it down to like maybe 2 seconds. So now I can't fire, but every 2 seconds it'll allow me to like instantiate a new projectile, and that's how you can control the fire rate of your weapons, right? And that applies to like all of the projectile weapons have this a script attached to it, so that'll make it easier for you to manage. So right now by default, the player is not going to have any of these turned on, and I'll explain why that is in a little bit. So remember, you have your ranged weapon, you have your scatter shot, and you have the next one is fan shot. And like I said, it's the exact kind of setup as the previous two. So we've got our container for fan shot weapon temp, and then we have like all of our sprites. Um, yeah, so the reason why you can't really see the sprites right now, so if you need to see which way your weapon is kind of facing for the scatter shot and the fan shot, you'll notice that right now you're only seeing the shot points, right? That's what these gray diamonds are. If you actually need to see the weapon and see which way it's pointing, that's easy to do. You can just go here and you can bump the color up. Yeah. So you can bump the color up and it'll show you which way it'll show you the actual weapon sprite. Right now, I have these weapon sprites for the fan shot and the scatter shot turned off because I want it to look like I want the projectiles to look like they're emanating from the actual player, right? Instead of like a rotating weapon. All right, so let's see. So if I actually do this right here, I can go here and I can turn the color up on all of these, and you'll notice that here's all of these green rectangles are actually where the weapons are pointing at the moment, right? But I don't want to see those, so you can just, if you want to see them, you can turn them on. If you don't want to see them, you can just turn the opacity down, right? And this is what the fan shot looks like. This is what the fan shot looks like on here, right? So if I go here, you'll notice like right now, the fan shot doesn't really look like a fan shot because the reason for that is that all of the barrels are kind of pointing in the same direction. So and the reason why that is happening is because if you'll notice on the script, I have a rotatable weapon um, option right here. So right now, if I go ahead and bump the opacity up on these guys. Yeah, so if I bump the opacity up, you'll notice that all of these barrels are kind of rotating in the same direction, right? Because this right here is checked. But if I turn this off, and I go over here, you'll notice the weapon does not rotate, right? And so like you can have weapons that actually rotate, or you can have weapons that just kind of follow where the player is kind of facing, right? And it'll just rotate with the character. Or if you turn this on, then the character can move, but the weapon can rotate opposite of where in a different direction. And I'll demonstrate that later with the actual sample game, right? So there's multiple options for these weapons as well. So I'll go ahead and turn this off. So you have like 4 default attacks for this character already built in. All right, and then the next thing that we have under the player temp, so we have like the scripts, we have the weapons, which you can kind of edit and change, like change the color, change the You can change the sprite, you can change the color, you can change the projectile, and you can change the the shot frequency and stuff like that. And then the other thing that we have under this player temp is a sprite mask. And this sprite mask, I'll demonstrate that in a couple minutes on the actual game level on the layer one level one. So we're gonna kind of leave that. This is for like hiding and exposing objects, right? So if you want to have like hidden levels in the scene, that's what this is for. And then like after that, we have our mini map icon. So we do have a mini map, which is kind of not really showing up here. So like at the moment, so that's why I recommend actually copying the level, and it'll already be set up. But I do have a mini map icon. So if I go here and I actually click on my mini map camera, let's see if this will actually show here. Let's see, where's my mini map, mini map, mini map. Okay, yeah, it's not showing up here. I'll show you that one as well. But basically, this player does have a mini map sprite attached to him, which is actually this pink one. So if I turn this off, you'll notice that our player is actually blue. But when the minimap icon is turned on, it basically is just kind of covering him. So in the minimap, what you're going to see for the characters, you're going to see like a purple circle like moving around the level. And so let me go ahead and save this, and I'll demonstrate that in our actual level one. All right, so let me zoom out of here. All right, so I'll go ahead and shrink this down a little bit. So here, this is what our mini map looks like, right? And if you'll notice our character, here's our character for the demo, for the demo game, and this is Kuramiya. So you'll notice that she doesn't, you can't really see the purple circle on her because that's only for the mini map. And if I go to her player, so under here I've got character, then I've got player. All right, and don't worry, you're going to get this level as part of the download anyway, so you can actually play around with it more. But if I go to player, you'll see like I've got my Kuramiya, sprite and everything. So this is just a player container, my Kuramiya sprite. And then when I go to my minimap icon, you'll see it here, right? But when I click on this, you're not actually seeing it in the scene view, and that's because this is associated with a mask in. Sorry, it's on a minimap layer. Yeah, so this is only available to be seen in the minimap layer. That's why. So and that's already kind of set up for you in here. So let's see, when I go back to my sample 2, the reason why you're not seeing that minimap icon is because like we do have the layer and everything like that, but it's just the camera's not picking up right now. But actually, this isn't really going to be so difficult. This is like this is everything that you have under the player. So the main thing that you're going to have to worry about with the actual player is just the player script. So let's quickly take a look at that again. So you can like choose the health. So you can select the health, the max health. This max health is going to be necessary because like for example, under the UI you might have a bar, a health bar. So that'll you can set the max health to whatever you want it to be, like 10, 5, or whatnot, 100. And as the player takes damage, then that will start to decrease. All right, so and I'll show you that in a little bit as well. So we got our health display, which is not here at the moment. We got our health bar. So you got your booleans for setting jumping, jump time, how long it takes for the player to jump, time between jumps, like for example, if the player can double jump, like if you want him to like wait a few seconds before he jumps another time. Your kill zone, sorry, start time between jump. That's another little extra, like how long the player can kind of hover. We've got our kill zone time, and then we have like stuff like our ranged weapon, which is which we've just kind of dragged in here from our player. So that's what I mean. Like, I try to use a lot of Boolean, then I try to use a lot of things that you can just kind of drag and drop for this script to make it easier for, like for people who don't like coding. All right, and let's see. So we've got our ranged weapon enabled. So let's go ahead and play this right quick. All right, so if I'm like running around here, I'm like, okay, well, I want to test to see if this ranged weapon is working. I can just go ahead and switch this over. And like oh, sorry, that's the actual Boolean. Um, so for the ranged weapon to actually work, I'd have to like set it for ranged weapon is enabled, and there's like two Booleans that need to be set to true. So I can activate like this one and activate the ranged weapon. And that is not working for some reason. Hold on, let me check the code. So there are two booleans that need to be set for this. So when I go down here, if other.fanshot pickup is blah 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 blah. Okay, so here's the range attack weapon enabled. So if other compare tag and range weapon, so if range weapon pickup equals true. Okay, that's the actual pickup for it. And then when I go down here, void key range weapon. Okay, so if range weapon enabled equals true, so if this boolean is set to true and activate range weapon is set to true, then it'll start this coroutine down here. Yeah, so there's a coroutine for the range weapon that will start if those two switches, those two booleans are basically set to true. All right, and let's see. So let's go back to this. So I might not actually be able to enable them here for some reason. But anyway, like they work in the code. So all right, so I'm basically kind of just giving you an overview of what this has anyway. So all right, so this is everything that's under your player temp. So you can just kind of go down the list and check to see what is enabled, what is not enabled while you're playing. And make sure that your weapons and your weapons and your cards and your icons and stuff like that are actually just in the right slot. And like I said, I've kind of already got all of this set up for you, so you can just like copy the scene and change them at your will, to make it easier. Game cursor, these are a lot of like things that will probably be easier for you to kind of like just go through on the sample scene and like by duplicating the sample scene and switch them around. So yeah, I got all of this. Let me go ahead and switch this over to null since I don't want that. Okay, so I'll switch that. And then I can just kind of go through here and the health is all set up. My health text is here. My player health bar is already set up here. So any of these, like, you can just kind of just, if you want to make another player health bar, you can just like go here and duplicate. And you got, and change this to player health bar 2. And if I want to use this health bar 2 instead, right now I've got these colors set up where I can change the gradient of these very quickly. And I'll just change this one to something like blue, and then like change this back one to red. Okay, so there's my player health bar 2. So now if I and this is under UI, so it's already set up there. So if I want to, if I want the player to use this health bar instead, hold on. Right now the player should be using the default health bar. Okay, so let's hold on. Let me go ahead and maximize this. Okay, getting a bit sleepy now. Hmm. Okay, yeah, so health bar is not turned on at the moment. So I'll go ahead and turn this health bar on. There we go. Alright, so here's what the current health bar looks like at the moment, and when the player takes damage, you'll notice, like, you know, it turns from blue to green to, like, hey, they're not attacked, to yellow, and then, you know, to red right before he dies, right? Well, maybe I want to use that second health bar that we just created. So in order to do that, all I have to do is I just go to the player temp, and I go to, I just find the player health bar right here. So maybe instead of using this health bar that starts off with blue, I might want to use this other health bar that starts off with red. So I'm going to just drag it and drop it over here. And that is it. So I'll go turn this one off and turn this health bar 2 on. And now when I play, I've just kind of switched the health bar. So any new elements that I want to add, you know, or that you might want to add to your version of the game, should be easy. Just like duplicate what's already there, and then like you know, just change the color and, you know, edit it to your liking, and boom, you have another health bar, you have another player, or whatever you need, right? All right, so let me stop this here and take a break and go get something to drink, and then I'll be right back. All right, so hold on. I'm gonna go ahead and pause this.